Hello everyone, I am Abhishek and today we are going to solve wildcard matching problem in tabulation approach. On the previous video we have discussed about the problem statement and we have also solved this question with recursion with memoization approach, and now we'll be doing in tabulation approach. So let's get started. So let me tell you the thought process behind how we can solve it. So in the tabulation approach, we make our DP of size this S length and P length, and we go through we like go through each indexes through iterative approach, and we check our S index as ith index and P index as jth index, and based on the string we have, we do a similar kind of thing which we have done in the recursive approach. But here we need to do that straight away in the DP, and at first we need to have a initial condition. So our initial conditions can be so here initial condition would be little trickier, as for I equal to 0 means for if I is equal to 0, I will be taking my initial condition for initial condition where there will be no string for I equal to 0 and j equal to 0, there will be no p, so nothing is matching, so that will be 0. And for rest of the other cases, okay, let me start coding and let me think there straight away. So have n equal to s dot length, and this will be p dot length. Then we will have our dp of type vector int with one more vector, because it's a 2D vector with n plus 1 extra space for writing our initial condition, and then we will have our one extra space for the column for writing our initial condition, and we will be starting with the 0. Let's start with 0. And for like I equal to 0 and j equals to 0, we can have our initial condition as 0 only, and for I equal to 0, what we can do here, I equal to 0 and j will lie between 1 to m. So I have to run my loop here for I equals to, here I will put I equal to 1 to I, or let me put here j as I have written here j, so it will be easier to understand. So j less than equals to m, j plus plus then zero and j. How can we define our how can we define the initial conditions? So initially basically we need to do here true and false. We just need to return true or false. So here we can start with, as we are moving towards j, so here we can start with like if p of j minus 1, so if p of j minus 1 is star, not this, but we just have to return it true or false, and we can have here boolean, and we are writing all with false, assigning every value to false with n plus 1 boolean value. Okay, uh, then we need to check for the star part, as star part can denote can match to any non-character object or empty object, or any single character or multiple character sequence of character. So how we can initialize the initialization part? If question mark will be there, and for I equals to 0, there is no s, there is no element, everything is empty. So if it's empty, for every other case we need to put there false, but if there is star here, star, then it can be either true or false. So like if only star is there, we can put all as true, but for suppose if b star is there but b is not matching to this part, then star is there, so everything would be false only even if star is there, because if we go to the next index, if we are moving to the succeeding indexes, then we are taking care of the preceding part as well. Like what I am saying here is, if we have as equal to a and p equal to a, then we can consider that there is some empty sequence is there. So because we can consider that there is an empty sequence, like for suppose s is empty and p equal to star, so if p star is there, here we can denote everything to true, but if star b is there, then what we are considering here is, like for I equal to 0, s is empty only obviously, and for j equals to 1 we are considering only this ith index, I equal to 0 index part. So we are considering one sub problem, that is s is empty and p is only star, so there it will be true, but when it will go to the next part b, so it cannot match to any b, so here we can make our thing false. But if we have one more b previous to it, so b star b, so first here only it will be false in the starting. If b star is there, then on the b star part it can match to empty sequence, but on this sub problem we are considering both, like this empty part also, and both b and a we are considering. So considering b and a, it will be false. So let me write the initial conditions here, that in the starting, if p of j minus 1 equal to star, if we got this star, then we need to take my initial condition from the previous j. So it is, let me put this in the bracket, and then else all other cases we have to denote that with false, else all cases will be false. And one more initial condition, that is when j equals to 0. For j equals to 0, here j will be equal to 0 and I will be equal to from 1 to n. So here we will have a different condition, dp of I and j. Not j here, dp of I and 0. So dp of I equal to 1, I is less than equal to m, I plus plus, and then 0. dp of I 0. So dp of I meaning we have some element, dp of I meaning dp of I equal to 1 meaning we are on the first index, for I equal to 2 will be on the second index, and dp and j0 meaning there is no pattern, so it cannot match at all, so it will be false only, everything will be false here. And we had our initial condition, these are all initial conditions. After that we will have our loop for the iterative approach, tabulation approach. So we will have from int from I equals to 1 to I less than is equal to n, I plus plus. Then for j is equal to 1, j equals 1, then j less than equals m, then j plus plus. So we are iterating through all the column and rows for calculating it, and while iterating through it, what things we need to take care of. For 1 and 1 it will be only a and only, if I consider this example, it will be only a and only this star. So okay, let me have my conditions here, like if s of I minus 1 equals to p of j minus 1, if both are equal, or p of j minus 1 equals to question mark, that means we can match one character here on s. So if we match one character on the s, we can take our answer like dp of I and j can be on where it can be dp of I and j, we can bring it from dp of I minus 1 and j minus 1. Correct, because we have matched one character and we are moving from 0 to n on the top down, so we are bringing our answer from the if we have like matched this thing, if we have anything like this, a and a is there, then if first a and first a is matched, then we can take our answer from the initial conditions, like by going to I minus 1 j minus 1. If there is a is there and p in the p also there is a, then the a will get matched and we will come back to our I minus 1 j minus 1 part. As like there is one match, so we can take our answer from the uh, previous sub problems like we did in the recursive approach. But in the if p of j minus 1 will be star, then it is little trickier to approach it here. If p of j minus 1 is star, then star can represent either empty element or star can represent sequence of element. So we can put here dp of I j equals, if star is representing empty element, then I won't change, but j will be from j, or empty element means I, and j will be from j minus 1. Okay, if a is there, okay, if star representing some empty element, if nothing it is representing, then our index of I won't change, but index of j will change to the previous element. Or if we got here false, then we can check from if some matching is there, then we can go from I minus 1 to j. So whatever answer we will get from this part, we will add it to our result. Else our answer will be false only, which we are initializing it here. And any other thing we are missing? Nothing. I think we are good to go now. We can return our dpo and m, and let's see if our answers comes correct or not. Okay, here equals to star p of j minus 1, else if okay, here our answer comes correct and I can submit it here. We have got some wrong answer. I and 0 address sanitizer it overflown. So this is I equal to 1 to I less than m, I plus plus. Added this part heap buffer overflow. That means I am trying to access a index which is not valid. But what for it's not valid? S dot length m is p dot length, correct? N plus 1 m plus 1. Okay, here I have calculated m, and here also I have denoted it m. It should be n, not m. That's why. Let's check now. Yeah, our answer came correct here, and let's do it for, we have done it from 0 to n, and let's not do it for like n to 0. So for n to 0, we will be going like from index 1 will be, index 0 will be this, index 1 will be this part, and index 2 will be out of bound. So if we reach the length like n and m, so that means we are on the out of bound part of S and P. So uh, we can now see that, like, if our s length is n and p length is m, then our index would be from 0 to n minus 1 and 0 to m minus 1. So n and m will be out of bound case of the index. So for here I can denote and n and m. N and m meaning mm, n and m meaning there is no, like, s is also empty and p is also empty, so I am denoting it as true. Then when we move to the next one, like j equals 1, j is less than n, j plus plus, so here I am going from 1 to m, but here I will have my m, here also I will have my m, and here I need to go from m minus 1 to j greater than equals to 0, j minus minus, so that I can move from 0 to n. So if I'm moving from 0 to n, so all the cases will be false for sure. But for jth case, if p of j equals to star, if I got some star here, like if I'm moving backward, if I'm moving backward, I will take my answer. So this is the case where I need to go to n here, not m. N. So n is like we are on the empty s. We have empty s because we are on the out of bound state of the index for the string s. So for out, if there is no character, no string, then n and j for sure will be false. But star can represent empty character also. So as it can represent the empty character, we can take the answer let's have one example. I'm not able to think of this approach, this condition. Let's take a, and if here we have b, then we'll move from here. So b and b will obviously be false, or not b, like anything like this. So b will be false, only b part, so we are denoting here false. And a part, when we come to one more index back, so star would be there, so star. So on that part we are considering b and star both when we are coming backward. So as we are considering b and star both, so considering both b and star, we need to get our answer from j plus 1. And on the side when there is pattern is empty and some string is there, so whenever pattern is empty and string is there, we have to consider the false case only. So whenever we are on the I and mth index, when pattern is over, then it will be false, correct? Then we need to move from here also, we need to move from, let's move from n minus 1. Here we can move from 1 to n, but as we are doing the jth part from m minus 1 to 0 0, so I want to consider this from I to greater than equals to 0, I minus minus backward only, but we are filling every element with false only. There is no change on this. Then I will start from n minus 1. So all from let me see the initialization condition also first, that dp of nm will be true, and from j equals to m minus 1 or j equals to m, j equals m minus 1 to j equals 0, j minus minus, and for the n, we are on the n part, means there is no string s, and then int I equal to n minus 1. So n minus 1 means we are on the last part, and pattern we are considering it as no, there is no pattern here. So m, in the m there will be no pattern, and we are considering from n minus 1 to this I minus minus, and then I want to move from n minus 1 to I greater than equals to 0, I minus minus, and j will be equal to m minus 1, j greater than equals to 0, j minus minus. So here we are considering from n minus 1 to m minus 1, and whenever s of I here will be equal to s of p, s of j, p of j, or p of j is question mark, then we need to take our answer from I plus 1 and j plus 1. And whenever p of j equals to star, then on that part I need to take my answer from dp of I. So if I take care of the empty cases here, so I won't change, but dp of j will be from, as I am considering from n to 0, so j will come from plus 1. And the same if I take the if star is matching to, if I take the condition that star is matching to any character, then I need to go to I plus 1, and j will be j, we should not change the j, because star can match other sequence of character also, and at the end I need to return 0 and 0. So let's run it. Hope I have done everything correct, but okay. What had happened here? Everything is false. 0 0, nm is true. Minus minus till 0 we are considering here. So everything would be coming here false, that's why. Okay, we need to return dp of 0 0. Dp of nm we have made it true, correct. dp of nm is true, and for int j equals m minus 1, j greater than equals to 0, j minus minus, from m minus 1 0 I am checking here. Okay, I need to add here n j plus 1. If I am on the m minus 1 position, so on the m minus 1 position I have made m as this, so m plus 1. Okay, it will come true if only star is there. Okay, correct. Rest all these things seems to be correct. So while doing tabulation we should be extra cautious regarding our initial conditions and whatever logic we are building here, because this tabulation part is little bit trickier from what recursive and memoization approach. So let's submit it, and yeah, we have our answer correct. And thanks for watching my video. And here also we will have our initial not initial, like time complexity as O of nm, and space complexity also is O of nm, and there is no auxiliary space occupied which was occupied in the recursive approach. So space complexity is same, and space and time complexity are same as O of nm. And thanks for watching my video.